So now we're on to card F, where we're doing a 3-digit number multiplied by a 3-digit number, and we're going to do category multiplication like we did on the 2-digit numbers. So we're doing 825 multiplied by 194. We're starting with our units box, so 4 5s. We're doing units by units to get our unit answer. 4 5s are 20. Now we're working on our next category, which is tens. So we start with this box, which is tens by units. So that's 2 4s are 8. And then this box, which is units by tens, 5 9s are 45. Then we're on to our hundreds. So this one first is hundreds by units, 4 8s are 32. Then our next one is tens by tens, so 2 9s are 18. And then our last one up here, which is units by hundreds, 1 5 is 5. Then we're on to our thousands. So this is a 0 here, so there's not going to be anything in this box. So we start on the next one, where we're doing hundreds by tens. So 9 8s are 72. And then our next thousands box is here. So we're doing tens by hundreds. So 2 1s are 2. And then we need to do our tens of thousands category. Again, there's not going to be anything in here or in here. So these two boxes we don't need to do because they would be zeros anyway. So we go on to the next thousand category that we have, next thousand box, which is hundreds by hundreds. So that is 1 8. And make sure that your children remember to do this thousand category box, otherwise they won't get the right answer at the end. So we slide down as usual, making sure our beads stay in the right squares. And then we do any swapping that we need to do. So this one here is 15. And then here, oops, we've got 20. There we've got 10. And then we've got 16. So our answer is 160,050. 160,050. So your children will need lots of practice at this stage and lots of practice saying which categories they're multiplying to get their answer for each different category. When your child has had lots of practice at E and F, laying them out diagonally in the right categories, you then want to go back to E again, and this time you're going to miss out the step of laying the beads out higher up and do that part in your head. So we're only going to be working on the bottom row, but we're going to be thinking about the answers in the other rows. So we've got 19 multiplied by 36. So we start in our unit box. We're doing units by units, which is 9 by 6, 54. And then we go on to our tens category. So for our tens, we need tens by units, which is 1 by 6, which is 6. Now I'm not going to get that 6 bead out, I'm just going to remember it. And then I need to think about this box, which is units by tens, which is 3 9s, that's 27, plus the 6 that I was remembering, which is 33, plus the 5 that I have down here already, so 33 plus 5 is 38. And then I need to do my hundreds category. I can't use this one here, there's nothing in there, but I use this box here, which is tens by tens. So that's 1 3 is 3. and I need to add it to the 3 that's already here. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So my answer is 684. As you can see, there starts to be a lot more complicated working out in your head at this level. So children need to remember one sum in their head and then work out the other one and add the 2 together. So this one takes good memory as well, being able to remember one number and then add it to the next number after they've done a working out in between. So I'm guessing lots of practice would be needed at this stage to do 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication. When they feel confident with these and they've worked through all of them, they've had a go at making up their own, maybe with a friend, that kind of thing, and they're confident with it, we then show them how this can be moved onto paper. So the first time you go onto this step with them, you would have done one of your sums first, and then you say, we're going to do this one again, and we're going to go back and look at how we found each answer. So you can ask them, what was the first category we worked on? And it's always units. So you can write down units. How did we get the units? We multiplied units by units. So U by U, units by units. So in this case, we had 6 by 9, which was 54. Which category did we work on next? We worked on the tens. So we write down tens. What do we need to multiply to get our tens answers? Which categories are we using? We're doing tens by units. So T by U. And also units by tens. U by T. And then you can do that again. So tens by units, 1 6 is 6. Units by tens, 3 9s are 27. 27 plus 6 is 33. Add on the 5 is 38. Which category do we work on next? The hundreds. So we can write that down. What do we need to multiply to get our hundreds? So we don't need to say this one here, because there's nothing in here. If we're doing 2-digit by 2-digit, we don't need to worry about this box here, but we need to look at this one. So what did we multiply? Tens by tens. So T by T. So in our case, it was 1 by 3, which is 3, and we added it onto this 3, which made 6. So the idea is that you've worked through with them what operations they need to do to get each section. So for the units, they did units by units. For the tens, tens by units and units by tens. And for the hundreds, tens by tens. And once you've had a look at that and worked it out with them, then from then onwards, they can use this card, or they can write it out in their books if they want to remind them of the different steps that they need to take. So then we go back through. So we've gone through these 2-digit by 2 digits once already. We're going to go back through them again. Let's pick another one. We've got 32 multiplied by 41, and you don't need the board now, so you can tell the children we're moving on to the abstract. You don't need the board anymore. We're going to do this completely just on paper. So the first thing that we need to do is units by units. So we multiply 1 by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2, which we can put there. Then to get our tens, we need to do units by tens. So units by tens, 2 4s are 8. And also tens by units. So 3 1s are 3. So I've got my 8 in my head plus my 3, that's 11. So I write my 1 down, and here's my 1 that I'm carrying over into the hundreds column. So I'm just going to put it up there. And then to get my hundreds, I multiply tens by tens. So 3 4s are 12 plus the 1 that I've carried over is 13. 1312, and I can check my answer to see if I have it right. So if they do lots of practice at this, the children will now be able to do 2-digit multiplication by 2 digits, so 2 digits multiplied by 2 digits, and get their answer without doing long division. And I think even a lot of adults would struggle to do this mentally. So this is really quite advanced mental arithmetic, but the children are able to do this, and I've really enjoyed learning this myself, along with my children being able to multiply 2-digit numbers without having to write it out in long form. So it's really good fun to do these along with your children. Then when they've had loads of practice at multiplying 2-digit numbers without doing any working out, so they're just pretty much working through this in their head, and they've got used to these categories, they know now maybe they can do it without looking at this sheet, maybe they can do it without having these color coded, and they can just do their own 2-digit multiplications. When they get to that stage, you then go back to F, which is your 3 digits multiplied by 3 digits. Do it exactly like we did it here with the 2 digits by 2 digits, but see if they can work out their own categories. Maybe leave them for a while and see if they can come up with their own list like this of what you would need to multiply to find the answer to a 3-digit by 3-digit, and see if they can come up with it. They should come up, hopefully, with this. And once they've gone through the process of exploring that and working it out for themselves, they can then use this card or make a copy of it in their books and use this to help them with their 3-digit multiplication. And then they should be able to take a question that is multiplying 3 digits by 3 digits and work through it. So units by units. 2 8s are 16, there's my 1 I'm carrying over. Then for the tens, it's units by tens and tens by units. So that's 2 8s, which are 16, plus 5 7s are 35. 35 plus 16 is 35, 45, 51, plus my 1 is 52. Then I'm on to my hundreds, so I'm doing tens by tens, which is 5 7s are 35, units by hundreds, so 35 plus 8, which is 43, and then hundreds by units, so I've got 43 plus 48, which is 88, 89, 90, 91, plus my 5 is 96. Then for the thousands, I'm going to do tens by hundreds. So that's 4 5s, 20, and hundreds by tens. 6 7s are 42. 42 and 20 is 62, plus the 9 is 71. And then lastly, for my tens of thousands, I do hundreds by hundreds, which is 4 6s are 24. 24 plus 7 is 31. So your answer is 311,626, and they can check their answers there. So I've actually made a mistake there. So I'm still learning these myself, and I learn along with the children because it can be quite tricky. Let's see where I went wrong. So 2 8s are 16. We did that part. Then units by tens, which is 2 7s are 14. And tens by units, 5 8s are 40. 40 plus 14 is 54, and add my 1 is 55. Let's see. There we go. So I should have had a 5 there. So you can help the children go back and check to see whether they have it right. And with lots of practice, they'll become more and more accurate with these as well. So that's the work with the multiplication checkerboard, taking you right from the basics of practicing times tables to being able to do 3-digit multiplication in your head and just writing the answer down.